Hi, I'm Mckenna Trapheagen. I'm a senior at Woodland High School, and I'm here to share a few verses and some thoughts during this time of uncertainty that have just helped me. I wanted to thank Lauren for reaching out and giving me this opportunity, and I wanted to thank FCA for being such a great program and doing some wonderful things right now that are just a reminder that we're going to get through this, and we just got to stay faithful. So I'm going to be in 2 Corinthians today. This is the letter that Paul is writing to the church at Corinth. At this time, this church is going through a lot of feuding, a lot of divisions, fights, and just uncertainty. And in certain ways, I feel like our world is paralleling this church. With this virus, with this pandemic, we have the opportunity to turn it into a source of animosity and fear and worry and aggression, but the whole message behind 2 Corinthians, to live in unity, to live humbly and forgive and love, it's so imperative during a time right now. Today, though, I'm going to be focusing in on chapter 4, verses 8 through 10, and then I'm going to pick back up in verses 17. So, chapter 4, verse 8 says, "We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not driven to despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Struck down, but not destroyed. Always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifested in our bodies." And then in verse 17, "For this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal." So when I was reading this verse, the first thing I wrote down was perspective. During this time of social distancing and our lives just completely changing, for me, the main thing that is changed within myself is my perspective. For the longest time, I was hung up on school being canceled and track being canceled and prom and graduation and all of these things that once were so important to me, these things that I focused on so heavily, they were just gone. And it just made me realize, like this verse says, how transient these worldly things are. In the grand scheme of things, they don't matter. Right now is a time for us to turn our gaze somewhere else, that somewhere being our relationship with God. There's so much fear and anxiety in this world, and it can be so consuming, but as much as we feel like we're called to panic, we're being called to pray. And I just encourage you to refocus during this time. Those transient things, those temporary things in our lives that may have once mattered, that may have been wiped out by what's going on right now, they really don't matter, pandemic or not. We need to focus on God. We need to focus on our relationship with Christ, and that's what I've learned most during this time, and I just encourage y'all to refocus and reassess your perspective. And even times when it feels hard and when things are just so negative and difficult to deal with, they don't have to be. They don't have to be. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name is Ashley King. I hope you are staying well. Emma Seegers, thank you for reaching out to me and allowing me the opportunity to share a little bit of encouragement to you guys from God's Word. So I don't believe in a God of coincidence or happenstance. I believe that our God is incredibly intentional and purposeful. So yesterday, as I was doing my quiet time, it was about the importance of community and the essentialness or essentiality of allowing our brothers and sisters in Christ to intrude upon our personal space, and just how the importance of community to the work that God has done and that He is continuing to do in our life. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And it's crazy because during this time of isolation, it was a great reminder of how we are still supposed to encourage one another. This journey that we have is not a loner journey. Our walk with God is definitely personal, but it's not private. So I'm excited to share with you from the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, verses 12 and 13. So let's get to it. See if you can, right there, it says, take care, brothers, lest there be in any of you an evil, unbelieving heart, leading you to fall away from the living God. But exhort one another every day, as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. So I want you to hear the tone of the author as he is writing these verses. And I also want you to kind of pay attention to the straightforwardness of make sure that we do this so this doesn't happen. So again, he's saying exhort or encourage one another every day, as long as it is called today. Why? Well, it says that none of you may be hardened. We don't want a hardened heart or a calloused heart. And how does that happen? Well, it says by the deceitfulness of sin. So when we encourage one another and exhort one another, it goes to battle against the hardness of our hearts by the deceitfulness of sin. So we all know that sin is, in fact, deceitful. When we start to believe the lies, we start believing that the things of this earth are more desirable than what God has for us, and that's a lie. So to combat that, we encourage one another. We need people to intrude on our lives, into our personal space. We need people to say, hey, how's your walk with the Lord going? Or, I really don't think you responded well in this situation. We may want to go back and revisit. I mean, you just need people to hold your feet to the fire and say, hey, I love you, but we probably need to look at this issue, but we also need to have people in our lives to encourage us and build us up. And that's something I think we don't do, or maybe it's just me, I don't do a very good job of, and I need to. But this was just a great reminder during this time of isolation, the importance of community and the importance of encouraging one another while it is still called today. So I want to encourage you to pray and reach out to someone today. It may not be in your close circle of friends that you talk to every day, but reach out to someone just to let them know that you're thinking about them and that you're praying for them. Encourage them today, because you may be helping combat a hardened heart or them believing in the deceitfulness of sin. So just want to encourage you to do your part and to encourage one another and to allow people in to do the same for you too. I hope y'all are doing well again. Love you all.
Hey guys, my name is Reece Mitchell. I am a freshman at the University of North Georgia in Dahlonega, but actually I'm a Woodland alumni. I graduated last year, so some of you may know me, some of you may not. But it really wasn't that long ago that I was, sitting in the gym floor listening to the guest speaker at FCA. And even though this is most certainly some different circumstances, I'm glad that I, get to be a part of, FCA once again. So it's honestly, I'm incredibly thankful for that. But since I do get the opportunity to speak to you guys, I wanted to start out by saying that honestly, I am, incredibly sorry about what's going on. That it's unfortunate for everyone, but especially like the class of 2020. I really do feel for you guys. Some of you guys may know that I actually do have a sister. Kayla, is a senior at Cass this year, so she is just devastated that she's not going to get to walk. But my heart, my thoughts, my prayers go out to everyone that's been, severely affected by the outbreak, and I really do feel for the class of 2020 with what's going on. But moving on to, kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Kind of in any sort of times of some serious, worry, I see these verses kind of come up all the time. A lot of these just like thrown out, get thrown out pretty frequently, and one of them being 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. Um, Basically, cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. And while that is a fantastic verse, it's, you hear it all the time because, it is just really reassuring. But I just wanted to kind of say that I hope that many of you guys, know that kind of in your hearts. And if you don't, then that might be a great conversation to have with any of your like excellent FCA leaders. But something that I came across the other day that I just, it kind of made me think a little bit, hearing John chapter 16, verse 33, kind of towards the end of Jesus' last days here on earth. He's kind of giving this big speech to the disciples. And so Jesus says, these things I have spoken to you, that in me you have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. And I really just think that, in a tribulation that we are in right now, being the pandemic, it is one heck of a tribulation. And I really just think that's kind of in this time that it's really in our hands to kind of make the best of this unforeseen, bad circumstance. I just think that we can, kind of do the best for our community. It's not what everyone's wanting to do right now, but I really think that we can also take this opportunity to grow our spiritual relationships. I know plenty of churches have moved their messages to some sort of online platform. So, now you don't even have to put on pants to go to church, which, hey, there's a bonus, I guess. But also, I'd really think in this time, a lot of times I know I'm awful about it, but you get this, mindset. I'm so busy, really you can just take like 5 seconds to say a little prayer, but, a lot of times you're just like, go, go, go. I'm so busy. But now, guys, this is a time to pray. And really I found it, just so sort of just reassuring. It's like our opportunity to get to talk to the Father. And I just, really want to encourage you guys to, just say a couple prayers. It's what, something that we get to do. Like we get the opportunity to do that. But I was told to keep this, kind of short and sweet. So that's kind of all I have for you guys. I love y'all, and I really do feel for you guys. But I hope the best. I hope you guys have a good summer. I hope all of this is over for us pretty soon.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I just want to thank Mckenna, Ashley, and Reece for making this video happen. They did this on their own time, and just thank you guys so much for making these videos. Also want to thank the people behind the scenes to help make this video happen, and I really hope you enjoyed it. So as Dr. Kyle Walker would say, as we go, let's make disciples. Let's have a great day and a great week. Thank you guys.